How y'all doing, my people? I'm back with another video, and I bring to y'all Three Dice Soccer League, and we're in week 2. And the reason why I'm still stuck in week 2, ever since we played that game between the Houston Metros and the New Orleans Wild Prawns, and the Prawns won 2 goals to none, which was a really exciting game and fun to watch. Um, because I've been real busy. I've been going to work too early, and then I get off real late, and I come real tired. Gotta come and take a shower, get some supper, and then I get to bed and do it all over again next morning. So I'm so sorry I haven't been able to play my Three Dice Soccer League. I wish I could already gone to at least 3 or 4 weeks already, but man, it's kind of hard, when you get off work. Well, when you be at work and you got to work for over more than 10 hours. So, yeah, so right now, I'm going to bring to y'all the Kansas City Saberwolves visiting the Boston Bears. Now, this is a video that I also want to dedicate to my friend over there, Cards and Dice with Don. He told me that he was still kind of confused on some, plays, on some, I guess, some rules that he just still couldn't get. And I'll be happy to go ahead and review it and do it again and to explain. And and just watch as I'm playing this game, and I will explain how it is. Like I hope I can, you know, give a good explanation of the instructions of Three Dice Soccer League, and people can really understand. Because I know sometimes it's hard to comprehend because there's, like Don was telling me, he doesn't know when, if the defense, how do they move up the midfield after, if the midfield is stopped and all this. Like, to be honest with you, when the defense, let's say the defense makes a pass, and no, excuse me, when the midfield makes a pass and is successful, right? They complete it, and the defense has to roll their 3 die for defending, right? So if they complete that too, then you got to roll your 3 dices or 2d6s, whatever. Every team is gonna have a different amount of dice they can roll for the possession, and whoever rolls the highest is going to get the possession of the ball, and you do it all over again. That's where you got to, again, roll for the pass, and you got to complete one, and then the defense has to roll their 3 die for the defending to try to stop that pass, and so on. But if the defense fails, of course, you already know the midfield is going to move up to the attack and shooting. Now, for the defense, if the midfield um, gets a turnover and they fail their passing, then the defense comes in, right? And all they got to do is just complete their passing, not defending, but passing. They got to roll 3 dice, and they complete it. Then they can move up to midfield, and the midfield position moves back to defense. Now they're in defense mode. So then the defense on midfield, and so on. You do it all over. You do it like you're supposed to. And now when the defense moves to midfield, that's when they got to roll, their 3 dice to see if they can move up to the attack and shoot it, and so on. It keeps going. It's like a pattern. So it's really, I know it's at first, you wouldn't really catch it real quick, but once you start playing it and you start watching one of my videos, you'll start to understand more clearly, more better, and you'll play the game with no problem. And that's what I heard what Don said. He said that it's the game is really fun, but it's not fun when you don't know what you're doing, right? When you think that you have this feeling that you're doing something wrong and you're trying to play the game exactly by the rules and everything. So for it to make sense, right? For it to balance right. So I'm gonna go ahead. Let's go ahead and play this game right here. We have the Kansas City Saberwolves versus visiting the Boston Bears. And, with their owner, Alex Burris, their head coach, Chris DeWitt. Then for the Boston Bears, their owner, James Allen, their head coach is Sam Ward. So both of these teams have a tie. They came from back in week 1. Both of them had a tie. The Saberwolves tying with the Houston Metros 1-1, and the Boston Bears tying with the Green Bay Golden Owls 0-0. They also got a tie. So both teams Got 1 point each. Let's go ahead, get this game started. Start our timer there. And here this little fella's gonna, add the time and everything. Will be the clock. So here we go. They're gonna start at midfield. Oh my god, forgot my dice. But you know what? I'm gonna do it this way. I'm just gonna go ahead and just put this little dice here. So the blue will be for the Kansas City Saberwolves, and the purple die will be for the Boston Bears. Okay. All right. Here we go. So they're gonna roll for the coin toss. Saberwolves call heads, and nope, they will get that will be an odd. So they will get to defense, and the Boston Bears are gonna win that coin toss. So they're gonna receive right now the ball at midfield in the first half. Second half will be for the Kansas City Saberwolves. Right, this die right here, which is green with red, that will be for the Boston Bears, and the blue, all blue right here, are for the Kansas City Saberwolves. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The game has started. Midfield 6 to a 9. Let's see if the Boston Bears can, complete this pass. That will be a 13, so that's a turnover. Okay, that's a turnover. And here we go. Here comes the defense of the Kansas City Saberwolves. So if they're able to complete their pass, they can move up to midfield. And the midfield for the Boston Bears will go to defense now. Here we go. Let's see if they can complete this pass. 6 to a 9. Both of these teams at midfield, they're horrible. 6 to a 9. Not a great passing team. Here we go. They let it go, and that will be 5-9, and they hit it. And so the Kansas City Saberwolves will move to midfield. And now the Bears will be on defense. How much time? And that was 2 minutes only. Okay. 2 minutes. Wait a minute. 2 minutes. Okay. So here we go. Here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. They move to midfield. 6 to 11. 6 to 11. Man, this Boston Bears team is just terrible. Look, 6 and 9 on passing on midfield. And they're also 6 and 9 in defense. That's really not that good at all. This team is really gonna have a real long season. I don't feel like this team is gonna really go anywhere with that kind of passing. So here we go. Here comes the Saberwolves. 6 to 11. They hit a 9, and that's for now the pass is completed. But look at the defense of the Boston Bears. 6 to a 16. Here we go. 6 to a 16. And that will be a 9, and they do stop that pass. Okay, so how much time? And that's 3 minutes. We're already in the 5th minute. So this is where they play for their possession. 2d6, both are 2d6 here. And that will be a 7 to 11. Oh man, so the possession is won by the Boston Bears at defense. Here we go. Passing 6 to a 9. Let's see if they can get this passing going. 6 to a 9. That will be a 6-8. Yep. They complete the pass for now. Here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. They're defending 6 to a 13. Let's see. And that will be a 7. Yep. They defend that pass. How many minutes? 5 minutes. So we're already at the 10th minute. And another possession of the ball. And that will be a 12 to a 7. So now the Kansas City Saberwolves win the possession of the ball. Here we go, 6 to 11 to complete the pass. And that will be a 6-9. Yep, they completed for the moment. Here comes the Boston Bears with that great defense. 6 to a 16. Let's see if they can stop the pass here. And that will be a 9. Yep, they complete that defensive play. How much time right here? 2 minutes only. So we already at the 12th minute. Another roll for the possession of the ball. And this will be an 8 to an 8. Okay, so 8 to an 8. So who had the ball right here? Okay, it was the the Saber Wolves. So remember, every time that the offense had the ball first, and they got to play for a possession of the ball battle, that's when, if there's a tie on the occurrence right here, then the team that was on offense, the team that had it first, will always win that battle, even if it's a tie. When it's on a goal kick from the goalkeeper into midfield, and it's a tie, then you got to re-roll again, right? So here comes the Kansas City Saber Wolves, 6-11 to pass the ball, and this will be, oh my God, that will be a 13. They turned the ball over for now. Here we go. Here comes the Boston Bears, 6-9. And this will be a 9. Yep, they're going to move up back to midfield. The Kansas City Saber Wolves, the defense now. Oh, man, let me go ahead and put my turnovers. So 2 turnovers for the Kansas City Saber Wolves and 1 for the Boston Bears. Here comes the Boston Bears. Wait a minute. Let me go roll that dice there. Oh, my God, 1 minute only. 13 minutes. Here comes the Boston Bears. Midfield passing, 6-9. Man, I'm telling you, this team right here is just impressive. That's a 7. Can you believe that? They don't even have too much to work with. 6-9 and still rolling real low like that, and really passing the ball pretty good. Man, the Boston Bears team, this team is pretty impressive for the moment. Here comes the Kansas City Saber Wolves, 6-13 to defend the pass, and that will be a 5-9. Yep, they do defend the pass. How much time? And that'll be 3 minutes. So we're at the 16-minute already. And we're playing for a possession battle right here for the ball. 2d6 for both. That will be a 7-7. But since it's a tie, so since the Boston Bears are on offense, they're going to win that possession. So here comes the Boston Bears, 6-9 for passing. Let's see if they can get it right here. This will be a 10. Oh, they just got a turnover. They got a turnover. That's their second of the game. So here comes the Kansas City Saber Wolves on defense. All they got to do is just pass, complete the pass, and they'll move up to midfield after that turnover of the midfield. Excuse me, of midfield. Here comes Kansas City, 6-9. That will be a 7. Yep, they go back to midfield. And the Boston Bears now move the defense. All right, good job by the Kansas City Saber Wolves. Man, they're going back and forth. Right now, it hasn't yet been a shot on goal yet. Or at least a shot missed. Somebody that try to go to the attacking shooting area. Here we go. Kansas City Saber Wolves passing, 6-11. And that will be a 10. Oh, he almost hit his exact number. He could have moved up without being defended. Here we go. The great defense of the Boston Bears, 6-16. And this will be 11-14. They hit it. How much time? And that's going to be 4 minutes. So we're already at the 20th minute, ladies and gentlemen. We're playing for the possession of the ball. Both are 2d6s. And this will be a 6-5. And there you go. Once again, the Kansas City Saber Wolves win the possession of the ball. Passing, 6-11. This will be a 7-10. They complete the pass for the moment. Here we go. The Boston Bears, 6-16 to defend it. And that will be a 6. Ooh, they just hit it. How many minutes right here? That's going to be 3 minutes. So 23rd minute already here in the first half. Yet no score. And yet not a shot attempted yet by neither team. Both teams are playing great defense. Both will shoot 2d6s. This will be 11-10. Ooh, great job there. And just by looking at those numbers that are close right there, when they're high numbers, I mean that both of these teams are really fighting hard to get the possession of the ball. Probably getting out of bounds, or probably somebody's passing the ball, trying to lob it or something. And some plays are being made, but they're not able to have a scoring chance yet. Here we go. 6-11. For the Kansas City Saber Wolves, that's going to be a 9. Here comes the Boston Bears defending, 6-16. And that will be a 12. That's a good defensive stop. How much time? 6 minutes. So we already at the 29th minute. Man, yet not a shot attempt by neither team. What's going on? All right, this will be a 7-8 once again. The Saber Wolves are winning a lot of this possession ball battles. They're doing a good job, especially at midfield. Here we go, 6-11. They gotta hit their exact number because this team is not going anywhere. They're playing good defense. That's a turnover, ladies and gentlemen. That's a turnover by this Kansas City team. That's the third one of the game. Here comes the defense. All they got to do is just complete the pass for them to move up to midfield. 6-9. And nope, that's going to be an 11. That's a turnover also by the defense. That's the third one as well for Boston. How many minutes? That's going to be 5 minutes. So we already at the 34-minute, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. After the Boston Bears defense also turned it over as well, the Kansas City Saber Wolves just have to complete this passing, and they will move up from midfield to the attacking shooting. That's going to be a 13. Oh my God, another turnover. Are you kidding me? Wow. Man, these teams are just, they can't find a way to how to get in the attacking shooting area. Here we go. Here comes after the Kansas City team turn the ball over. Can the Boston Bears defense move up the midfield? 6-9 to complete the pass. And nope, that's going to be a 14 and a turnover for the Boston Bears. Wow. It's been a series of turnovers and can't get the ball across, to the attacking shooting area. Here we go. The Wolves, can they move up to the attacking shooting? The Bears turned it over. Here we go, 6-11. And this will be an 8. Yep, finally. We have a team moving up to the attacking shooting, and that's the Saber Wolves from Kansas City. All right, so here we go. Let's play a few more minutes. That's 5 minutes. So we already at the 40th minute, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Attacking shooting, great. It's phenomenal. 6-15. And the goalkeeper for the Boston Bears is also great. He's 6-13. Here we go. They shoot. That's going to be a 9. Yep, that's going to be a shot on goal. So I'm just going to put here 40th minute, and I'm going to put shot on goal. Shot on goal. Okay. Now, here we go. Will the Kansas City Saber Wolves take the power shot? And I think that they said not for now. Let's not use it for now. Because if they miss the 6, this will be a shot miss, and there will be a goal kick. So they will not have an opportunity to have the goalkeeper roll his 2d6s for a corner kick or a penalty shot attempt. Here we go. The goalkeeper has to make the save. 6-13. Can they make it? That's going to be a 10. Yeah, great save by the goalkeeper. I'm going to put here goalkeeper save. So here comes the goalkeeper. He's going to try to roll the 2d6s. And that's going to be a 10. Oh my God, this will be a corner kick for the Saber Wolves. And they're at the 46 minutes, so 6 minutes already gone by. So at the 46 minute, ladies and gentlemen, we got a corner kick for the Kansas City Saber Wolves. So they will go to midfield. You already know how the corner kick works. They first have to complete their pass, and they do. Then they go to the attacking shooting, and the two-step process, and then attempt a shot and go. Here we go. 6-11 to lob it through the box of the goalkeeper. 6-11, and this will be a 4-7. Yep, he lobs it. The pass is successful. Now they have to complete the attacking shooting. Here we go. 6-15. This will be a 9-12. Yep, that's going to be a shot on goal, but here comes the Saber Wolves. Say they will take their power shot here. So they're just going to roll 1d6, and if they roll a 6, that will be an automatic goal without the goalkeeper saving it. Here we go. They got to roll a 6. 6. No, that's a 1. And that's going to be a wild shot right there. So it will be a shot missed by the Sabre Wolves offensive team. Corner kick. That would be a goal kick for the Boston Bears. Here we go. He kicks it off deep into midfield. 10-5. Yep. They're going to get possession of the ball. We're here at the final minutes. The ref's about to blow the whistle to end the first half. And that'll be a 6-9. Oh, that's a turnover. That's already the 5th turnover for the Boston Bears. Here comes the defense. What are they going to do here? 6-9 to pass it. And that will be a 9. Yep, they pass it. They go to midfield. And then the Boston Bears move back to defense. How many minutes? Oh, 4 minutes. So we're already at the 50th minute. 5 minutes they added. So let's see if the ref is going to allow the game to continue. Even for yes, odd is for no. No is an odd. So the game comes to an end. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, wow, let me see. They took a power shot, right? Yeah, let me just put it right here. A power shot PS. Okay, I forgot to put that. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is 0-0 at halftime. All right. And we're going now to the second half. All right. So here we go. Who won the coin toss? The Bears. Okay, so the Kansas City Sabre Wolves are going to start at midfield. They're going to get the ball, possession of the ball. Here we go. We're going to start the second half. It's 0-0 score here, week 2. Here it comes, 6-11 on midfield passing. That will be a 12. Oh, we just passed it for 1, and that's going to be a turnover for the Kansas City Sabre Wolves. Here we go, the defense. 6-9. Here we go. To capitalize on the turnover. 6-9, and that will be an 11. They also turn the ball over. Oh my God. That's already 6 turnovers for the Boston Bears. How many minutes already? Oh, let me go back to the 45th minute. And that is 2 minutes only. So in the 47th minute. Here we go. Here comes the Sabre Wolves. After the Bears turn the ball over, can they capitalize and move up to attacking shooting? Here we go. They got to complete their pass first. That will be a 12 once again. What is going on, man? This team's been turning the ball. Both teams have 6 turnovers already in this game. Here we go. The Boston Bears, 6-9 on defense to move up the midfield after the KC turnover. And that will be a 12 and another turnover. Wow. All right. Here we go. How many minutes already gone by? 5 minutes. So we already at the 52nd minute. Here comes the Kansas City Sabre Wolves. Passing 6-11 in midfield to move up to the attack and shooting. And that will be a 9. And they do move up to the attack and shooting because, remember, the Boston Bears turn the ball over at defense. So every time that a team is hanging by a turnover, the other team that comes in and completes their pass, they can move up either defense to midfield or midfield to attack and shooting. All right. So they're already at the attack and shooting. Here comes, how many minutes? Let me see. 3 minutes. So we already at the 55th minute. Here comes the Kansas City Sabre Wolves. What are they going to do? Can they have a highlight right here? 6-15, and that will be 7-12. Yep. That's a shot attempt, and they will allow the goalkeeper. They're not taking a power shot. So they will allow the goalkeeper to try to make the save. 6-13 to make the save, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. 6-13. And no! Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. He could not make the save. He rolled a 5. Goal! And the Kansas City Sabre Wolves have scored here at the 55th minute. They score a goal. And now, the Sabre Wolves, ladies and gentlemen, KC is up on the Boston Bears by a goal, 1-0. Wow, the goalkeeper could not make the save. Unbelievable. Wow. What a... Now the Kansas City Sabre Wolves, man, they're happy because they're up by a goal, but they got to play good defense. All right, here we go. The Boston Bears are going to start at midfield, and KC starts at defense. Here we go. They're gonna try to move the ball from their midfield area. Here we go. 6 to a 9. They're terrible in passing. Yep, they are. 13. That's gonna be a turnover. That's 8 already for them. Here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. They're gonna try to move the midfield. 6 to a 9 in passing. And that will be a 13 as well. They turn the ball over. Okay, how many minutes already? This is going to be 6 minutes, so we already at the 61 minute. Here comes the Boston Bears. Let's see if they can move up to the attacking shooting after the Kansas City Saberwolves turn the ball over in defense. Here we go. 6 to a 9. Come on, Boston Bears, you can move it. 6 to a 9, and that will be a 7-9. Yes, they do, ladies and gentlemen. Boston Bears. Man, the fans right here at their home, they're shouting and they're yelling and they're really excited because finally their team has an opportunity for a scoring chance on a goal. Here we go. And their shooting is also terrible. Oh my God, I didn't even see that. I thought that was a 14. No, that's a 6 to a 9. Oh my God, this Bears team is just awful, man, I'm telling you. So, in what minute? Let's see. 5 minutes. So we already at the 66 minute. Here we go. The Boston Bears 6 to a 9 to make a shot here. Oh my God! Let me go ahead and shoot this dices again. Man, they dropping everywhere. Here we go. The Boston Bears 6 to a 9. 6 to a 9. No, that's gonna be a 13. Oh my God! So that's gonna be a shot missed. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I wrote it in the wrong place. I'm sorry about that. Okay. And that's going to be at the 66 minute, and that's a shot missed. And that's their first shot attempt today, all day in the game. So that's going to be a goal kick for the goalkeeper of the Kansas City Saberwolves. 2D6 for both teams. Here we go. Roll them. That will be a 6 to a 10. Oh man, the Boston Bears once again. They win possession of the ball at midfield. Here we go. 6 to a 9. Midfield passing. And that will be a 14. They turn the ball over once again. Wow. 9 already for them. Here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. 6 to a 9 to move up the midfield. Let's see if they can do it. 6 to a 9, and that will be, oh my God, a 17. That's also a turnover for them. That's 8 for them. How many minutes? That would be 3 minutes, so they're already at the 69 minute. Here comes the Boston Bears. They can move up to the attacking shooting after the Kansas City defense turned the ball over. Here we go. 6 to a 9, and that will be, no, they just missed it by 1. They roll a 10. That's another turnover. That's 10 already for the Boston Bears. Here it comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. Defense 6 to a 9. Let's see if they can pass this ball successfully and go up to midfield. And that's a 7. Yep, they go up to midfield. Great job by the defensive passing, even though they're both horrible. 6 to a 9 only in rating. So here we go. Here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. Midfield 6 to 11. Let's see if they can hit the exact number. They don't want to go against that defense of the Bears. They're a 6 to a 16. They're pretty much going to stop any pass. So here we go. That's going to be 7. Here comes the Bears defending 6 to a 16. And that will be a 7. Ooh, they just got it. How many minutes? 1 minute only. So we're at the 70 minute. Here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. Oh, we have to play the possession of the ball after the pass was defended by the Boston Bears. Here we go. That will be 11 to a 7. There you go. The Saberwolves get the ball again. Here we go. Here comes the Saberwolves. 6 to 11 in passing. That will be a 13 once again. They turn the ball over. 9 already for the KC team. Here comes the Boston Bears. Can they move up the midfield? Can they capitalize the turnover of KC? Here we go. 6-2-9 on defense passing. And that will be, oh my God, a 16. Are you kidding me? That's already 11 turnovers for the Boston Bears. And how many minutes? That's 2 minutes only. So we're at the 72 minute. Here comes the Saberwolves. If they complete their pass here, they could move up to the attacking shooting area. Here we go. 6-11. And that will be a 12 once again. Wow, what's up with all these turnovers? Wow. Here we go. Here comes the Boston Bears. They just got to complete their pass to move up the midfield. Here we go. 6-9, and that will be a 4-10. They passed it again by 1. It's another turnover, 12 already. How many minutes? It's going to be 2 more minutes, and we at the 74 minute. Here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. 6-11. Come on, complete the pass to move up the attacking shooting area. And that will be a 7. Yep, they move up to the attacking shooting area. And here we go. Here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. How many minutes? 1 minute only. So at the 75th minute, here we go. Here comes KC to attempt a shot. 6-15. And that will be a 12. They do attempt a shot. They say this time they're going to allow the goalkeeper to save it. They're not taking a power shot at all. It's pretty risky. Here we go. Comes the goalkeeper. 6-13. Let's see if he can save it this time. Here we go. And that will be an 8-11. Yep, he makes the save. So at the 75th minute, they take a shot on goal. And it's a goalkeeper save. Good job by the goalkeeper of the Boston Bears. And now, let's see if the goalkeeper, they got to roll his 2 D6s. Got to roll an odd number in order for him to get a goal kick. And that will be an 11. Good job. And he's going to get a goal kick and kick it all the way deep into midfield. Here we go. Rolling our 2 D6s here. Who's going to get the possession of the ball? And that will be a 5-3. So the Kansas City Saberwolves get the possession of the ball. Midfield passing, 6-11. Let's see. And that will be, oh my God, a 13. Are you kidding me? That's a turnover for them. All right. Here comes the Boston Bears. Let's see if they can move up the midfield after that turnover. 6-9. It's not easy. Here we go. That will be a 12. Absolutely not. Okay, turnover for the Bears. How many minutes? And that was 3 minutes only. So at the 78th minute, here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. Let's see if the Kansas City Saberwolves can move up the attacking shooting after that turnover of the Boston Bears. 6-11. And this will be an 8. Yep, they move back to the attacking shooting. So here we go. They're going to try to attempt a shot right here. Attacking shooting. 6-15. Let's see if they can attempt a shot on goal. Yes, they will. So at what minute right here? So at the 81 minute. And they say, you guess what? The Kansas City will say they will take their power shot here. And they will roll 1 D6. If they roll a 6, it will be an automatic goal. Here we go. They're risking it. Here we go. No, that's a 2 right there. And that's going to be a shot missed by the Kansas City Saberwolves. And I'll put here in parentheses, PS, that's a power shot. They missed the shot, and that will be a goal kick for the goalkeeper. Here we go. And that's a goal. That's going to be a 7-7. Once again, they got to re-roll because it's a goal kick. And And this will be a 10-9, and man, he beats him by 1. Here comes the Saberwolves once again to get possession of the ball. 6-11 in midfield. And this will be a 10-12. Oh, he just passed it by 1. That's going to be a turnover. Let's see if the defense of the Boston Bears can move up to midfield. Here we go. 6-9. Nope, they're not. A 15. Another turnover. That's already 14 for the Bears. How much time has gone by? 3. That's 84 minutes already here in the first half. So here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves passing it. It's 6-11 to move up to the attacking shooting. Here we go. And that will be a 4-10. Yep, they move up to the attacking shooting. And once again, here we go. Let's see in what minute. 3 minutes more, and we're at the 87 minute. So let's see if they could take a shot right here. Here we go. The Kansas City Saberwolves, 6-15. And they are gonna hit a 13. Yep, they hit the shot attempt, and they said this time they are not gonna risk it with a power shot. So they're gonna allow the goalkeeper to try to save it. 6-13. Here we go. Here comes the goalkeeper to make his 3rd save of the game. Can he do it? That's going to be a 9-11. Yep, he makes the save. So I'll put right here, goalkeeper save. And then a shot on goal. Here we go. That's going to, let's see. He's going to have to roll his 2 D6s right here. See if he can roll the odd number to kick it off the midfield. And that will be an 8. No, that's going to be a corner kick. So at what minute? 3 minutes. So right there at the 90th minute, there will be a corner kick. That's not good news for the Bears. If they're trying to come back, they cannot even possess the ball. They haven't even moved up the midfield that much in this half. So here we go. Here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. They got to complete their pass to move, to lob it, and then go to the attacking shooting. Here we go. 6-11. And that will be a 9-10. Yep, they lob it. They go to the attacking shooting. So they're going to take a shot on goal. Here we go. 6-15, ladies and gentlemen. And that will be a 6. Oh, they just got it, but they are going to take a shot on goal. But wait a minute. They say, let's go ahead and take this power shot right here. Yep, they're going to take this power shot right here. Right here, 1D6. If they hit a 6, it will be an automatic goal. Here we go. They don't have nothing to lose. The game's about to be over anyways. They're winning. 1-0. Here we go. That's going to be a 6 goal. There you go. You see? A 6 goal when they score a goal on the corner kick off a power shot right there in parentheses right there. And now they increase their lead to 2-0. And they hit that ball with so much power, with so much strength and force, it was impossible for the goalkeeper to jump and try to save it. It just went like a pitching ball, like over 100 miles per hour fastball. Wow. Unbelievable. And now it is 2-0. And here comes the Bears. They already know this game's pretty much over. Passing 6-9. That will be an 11. That's going to be a turnover. That's already 15 for the Boston Bears. Here comes the Kansas City Saberwolves. Defense 6-9. And that will be 10. Oh, they just missed it. That's a turnover for them as well. How many minutes? 4 minutes. Nothing's game's about to be over with. All right, so here we go. The Boston Bears. Can they move up to the attacking shooting after the Kansas City Saberwolves turn the ball over in their defensive side? Here we go. 6-9. That will be a 14 and another turnover. And here comes the Saberwolves They said that. Well, let's see. Let's see if the ref continues the game to continue. I mean, allows it to continue. One is odd. Nope. It means no. He said that's it. Final whistle has been blown. And ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Our final score. The Kansas City Saberwolves, they win this one over the Boston Bears, 2-0. I'm going to show you right now. Right there. You see? 2-0. Unbelievable. The Kansas City Saberwolves, they took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 were on goal. And they tried 3 power shots. And they scored only 1 out of 3. And they had 2 corner kicks. Besides, the Boston Bears, they only had 1 shot the whole game. It was missed. So, unbelievable. Look at this game right here. And it was a total of how many? Well, I forgot to put it right here, so this one will not count. So it was a total. It was a total of that's 13. It was a total of 29 turnovers, 13 for the Kansas City Saberwolves, and 16 for the Boston Bears. So there you go. That's the final result right there. Here in the 3 Dice Soccer League in week 2. I'm going to try to finish week 2 so we can move on to week 3. And hopefully my friend Don over there in Cards and Dice with Don, hopefully he sees this video and he kind of understands, that how it works, when passing and turnovers and all that. Like I said, my friend Don, midfield, when they are going, of course, they're going to always go up against the defense of the other team. And when they complete a pass, right, the other defense, they have to roll their dices, right, for defending. If they stop the pass, you got to roll the possession, the 2d6 versus 3d6, whatever. Whoever rolls the highest wins the possession of the ball. And if the midfield wins it, then they got to do it all over again, try to roll for a passing, and then the defense have to defend it. Now, if the defense, let's say, if the midfield turns the ball over, then the defense will come in there and they will have to roll for their passing. And when they complete it, they can move up to midfield, and midfield from the other team will move to defense. And for the attack and shooting, I was going to get something real clear. So once the midfield completes their pass, and let's say the defense fails their defensive play, the midfield is going to move to the attack and shooting area, to the spot. And that's where the defense is not involved anymore, okay? So that's when the midfield, they're going to be an attack and shooting, and so all they got to roll is for the shooting. And if they make it, it'll be a shot on goal and that. So when the midfield, basically when they move up to the attack and shooting, it's going to be the shooter versus the goalkeeper, right? The defense doesn't have nothing to do with this anymore, only when they're out there in midfield and stuff. So I just want to get that clear. And so every time that a team turns the ball over, that's either midfield or defense, any of the two, the other team has to roll, and they complete their pass, they can move up to wherever they were from, wherever they at. If the defense capitalizes from a turnover and they complete the pass, they can move up to midfield, and they got to do it again, right? They're at midfield, they got to roll again for the passing, and they got to wait for the defense to roll for defending. So it's just it's a procedure, right? You have to follow every procedure. And so once the midfield, once again, I'm going to repeat it again. So once the midfield moves up to the attack and shooting, the defense does not play a part anymore, okay? You cannot roll for the defense anymore. So it's going to be the shooting versus the goalkeeper all the time, okay? So I hope you see this video, Don, and also from my friend Jackson. I was also watching his 3 Dice Soccer video. He posted a new one. Man, I really enjoy it, and I really like watching that video. That was a real awesome game. And, where you got to roll 6 dice or something like that, and you got to roll 3 in a row or something like that. And for you to get a shot on goal, man, that was really a genius idea that you came up with, Jackson. So keep posting more videos of those, But like I said, You have to try this game, really. For anybody out there that's watching, you got to try this game. This game is super fun. And you can add more to it. You can expand the game however you want, and play it on a real soccer field, like on a mat, I think, or in a big soccer field board or something like that. And you can play this engine right here, this scoring chart. And trust me, you're going to like it. And just rate your teams like this, you know. So yeah, hopefully I liked the video. And once again, Don, I hope you watched this video, my friend. And you have any more questions, just shoot me a comment, in the section. And I'll go ahead and I'm gonna catch you on the next video. And y'all have a wonderful, blessing, and safe day. And this was Die Sports Generation from your friend, me, y'all server, John Flo. All right, peace.